vegan side effects, must figure out what to do with extra vigor.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Unregulated mining has the potential to release harmful substances into the soil, air and water. Environmental issues can include soil erosion and contamination, loss of biodiversity, and surface water pollution due to the use of chemicals in the mining process. Industrial mining. Damaging effects on the planet and our health, part 1 of 3. Continue watching to find out more.
Buongiorno means hello in the Corsican language. I am Julie. The people of Corsica wish every being on this planet to become more connected with the divine power. Welcome to part 1 of our 3-part series, Industrial Mining, Damaging Effects on the Planet and Our Health, on Planet Earth, our loving home. Mining activities involve the extraction of valuable minerals and other geological materials from the earth, and the mining industry is regarded as one of the major economic contributors to various countries. But unfortunately, mining is an inherently invasive process that can cause damage to landscapes much larger than the mining sites themselves. Unregulated mining has the potential to release harmful substances into the soil, air, and water. Environmental issues can include soil erosion and contamination, loss of biodiversity, and surface water pollution due to the use of chemicals in the mining process. The effects of this damage can continue for years after a mine has shut down, including the addition of greenhouse gases, loss of flora and fauna, and overall destruction of land and ecological habitats. One of the most destructive mining methods is strip mining, which eliminates existing vegetation, destroys the genetic soil profile, displaces or destroys wildlife and habitat, alters current land use, and to some extent permanently changes the general topography of the area mined. In July 2018, a group of scientists used an online mapping tool to show detailed images of tracts of land stripped by mountaintop coal mining in central Appalachia. The tool uses satellite imagery to identify and map the extent of mining activity on an annual basis across the states of Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky, and West Virginia, USA. The mapping tool was developed by researchers at Duke University in North Carolina, USA, along with the non-profit organizations Appalachian Voices and SkyTruth. The research team estimated that every year between 1985 and 2015, an average of 21,000 acres, or an area about half the size of Washington, D.C., was stripped down to bare earth and rubble in central Appalachia. The team processed U.S. government satellite images of visible and invisible light reflected from the Earth's surface taken over 31 consecutive years in a 74-county area using Google's Earth Engine cloud computing platform. Data from the scientific evidence suggested that entire forests were destroyed, showing barren landscapes filled with harmful dust and contaminated bodies of water. Regarding the research, senior co-author and distinguished Professor Emily Bernard said, "Any scientist interested in studying the impacts of mountaintop mining can now see exactly where mines are in the landscape and how long those impacts have been active." The data can be used to more precisely understand how mountaintop mining affects water quality, how far the effects extend downstream, and how long they persist. Coal mining also has a huge impact on local water resources, both on the surface and underground. Surface water can be contaminated through the discharge of mine drainage, while groundwater gets contaminated by filtration into aquifers. Coal mine drainage contains highly acidic water contaminated with the ions of toxic heavy metals such as arsenic, lead, cadmium, cobalt, copper, and zinc. In bodies of water, these chemicals can be hazardous for both humans and aquatic wildlife. Scientists have long agreed that coal mining negatively affects water quality. A study by a team of researchers from the University of Tennessee found that water contamination caused by coal mining significantly reduces the abundance and variety of fish, invertebrates, salamanders, and other aquatic life in streams. Assistant Professor Xingli Jiang of the University of Tennessee's Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology and the study's lead author says, "Our article will be interesting to policymakers as well as the broad public as trade-offs between fossil fuel development and environmental conservation are currently being actively debated in the political arena." The authors also noted that coal mining's impact goes beyond aquatic species and can affect the health of human communities by causing problems such as increased mortality from lung cancer, chronic health problems, and kidney disease. The study's findings were published in a 2018 issue of the journal Nature Sustainability. All forms of mining pose a potential threat to the environment. During excavation work or the process of breaking up materials during mining, dust particles which are associated with health problems are released into the surrounding environment. Such emissions accumulated in areas surrounding coal mines are reported to cause lung disease among miners and people living in the vicinity. These particles, known as coal dust, make up a fine powder that forms through the mining process when coal is ground and crushed. The chemical composition and size distribution of the coal dusts are highly varied. Adverse health effects are mostly associated with exposure to elevated levels of fine particles known as PM10, which are fine dust constituents less than 10 microns in diameter. Inhalable particles are those that enter the nose or mouth, causing respiratory diseases and cancer in lung tissues. In March 2020, a study was done in Australia to confirm the link between coal mining and poor air quality in nearby towns. Associate Professor Gunther Paul of James Cook University in Australia reported that the scientists who performed the study looked at community-based air monitoring stations in Queensland and New South Wales, along with 10 years of data from the National Pollutant Inventory. The information was used to analyze microscopic levels of dust in nearby areas caused by coal mining. The results revealed that as coal mining activities increased, levels of harmful dust particles, metals, and nitrogen oxides also increased. According to Associate Professor Paul, this increased production of coal produces an increase in pollution, and that can be measured in communities, so there is a correlation. we found there is significantly higher PM10 in the mining region compared to southeast Queensland or similar areas in New South Wales. The results of the study have prompted renewed calls for independent on-site dust monitoring and a reduction in the occupational exposure limit for mine workers. We'll be back after a short interval while we admire the beautiful landscapes of Mother Earth and pray that all the lovely fauna and flora will be protected through heaven's grace. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Vegan side effects? Don't know what indigestion is? Welcome back to our program, Industrial Mining, Damaging Effects on the Planet and Our Health. Coal mines are among the greatest sources of anthropogenic methane emissions, or coal mine methane or CMM. The production of coal releases methane that is trapped in coal seams and surrounding strata, and once a mine is closed, it continues to release methane known as abandoned mine methane or AMM for an extended period of time thereafter. An article published by Reuters in 2020 states, methane leaks from planned coal mines around the world could have a bigger climate impact than carbon emissions from US coal plants. This implies that coal mining must not be overlooked as one of the sources of planet warming emissions. The report also states that the countries with the highest number of potential methane emissions from planned coal mines are China, Australia, Russia, India, South Africa, the United States, and Canada, respectively. Dr. Ryan Driscoll-Tate, a research analyst for the non-governmental organization Global Energy Monitor, and the report's author says, coal mine methane has dodged scrutiny for years, even though there's clear evidence it poses a significant climate impact. If new coal mines proceed as planned without mitigation measures in place, then a major source of greenhouse gas will go unrestrained. According to a study conducted in 2021 at the U.S. Department of Energy's Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, or PNNL, it was estimated that methane emissions from coal mines are approximately 50% higher than previously determined. The findings are based on the knowledge that methane continues to be emitted from thousands of abandoned mines and that the higher methane content in coal seams is much deeper. 250 coal samples were analyzed from around the world, including Asia, Australia, Europe, North America and South America, with the study's research team discovering that coal from depths greater than 400 meters tends to contain more than twice as much methane as coal mined at depths less than 200 meters. Chief author of the study, Associate Professor Nazar Kolod, says, as more coal mines close, the share of coal mines that have been abandoned but are still emitting methane will increase. Thank you for your kind presence during our show today. Please join us again on August 16th, 2021 for part 2 of Industrial Mining, Damaging Effects on the Planet and Our Health. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for Woodfield Animal Sanctuary, Retired Angel Couple's Endeavor of Love, right after noteworthy news. Through the grace of the divine, may you and your loved ones enjoy greater spiritual upliftment with each passing day. Vegan side effects: people will prefer your blood or organ donation.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/PE.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/PE.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/PE。
我们的节目提供多种语言，请看 suprememastertv.com/schedule 和 suprememastertv.com/PE。